All right, what is up, traders? What's up, tycoons? Super excited for today's video. We got to talk about Microsoft. Now, almost 3 months ago now, I wrote about how Microsoft was going to be the new stock market kingpin. And I wrote about this in my free newsletter slash blog. And you can see now that Microsoft is the number one weighted stock. It has the largest market cap in the market right now. And we're going to dive into why that is, what's been happening with Microsoft, and a lot of people know some of the headlines with Apple, but really the road to 3 trillion really started with Satya Nadella's appointment as CEO. That really set the course for Microsoft's turnaround. And you can see back in 2014, he was announced as the new CEO. And obviously, there was a large tech bull market rally. But, Microsoft was a very good company and has still continued to grow as a company. And then Microsoft confirmed their investment in OpenAI, and you can see that the stock has really just exploded since then with the new AI hype wave. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into Microsoft and read that newsletter and just kind of go over it for you guys. It's going to be a pretty good video, not too long. So you guys should really enjoy this one. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more. As always, though, the content provided on this channel is just for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. So be sure to read through the disclaimer. So here we are on the website. Okay, so you can sign up for the newsletter completely for free just by entering your email into here. There's a link in the description as well for that. And you'll receive these about once or twice a week. All right, and you can actually just go to the website and read some of the previous ones, right? And if we scroll down a little while, we see here the Microsoft one. It says 2 months ago. January is about to end, so it was really closer to 3 months ago. But let's talk about, why I was saying that Microsoft could potentially overtake Apple and become the next kingpin of the stock market, and it sure enough has. Now, the indispensable giant. So when you look at Microsoft versus Apple, right? Let's start with a bold statement. Apple, as we know, is currently the belle of the ball in the stock market, but let's play a game of what if. What if Apple disappeared tomorrow? Sure, we'd miss our iPhones and iPads, but life would go on with alternatives, right? So, that's kind of one of the big things is, if you talk about Microsoft, right? If you imagine a world without Microsoft, that's a very different story. From enterprise solutions to cloud services, Microsoft has woven itself into the very fabric of our digital lives and businesses. It's not just a company, it's an ecosystem that's much harder to replace. You know, People love their Apple products, and it's basically the strongest brand that there is in the world. But at the end of the day, if you didn't have your iPhone or your iPad, there still is touchscreen phones. There still is smartphones. There's still, other types of tablets. Some people like MacBooks. Some people prefer PCs. But if there was no MacBooks, PCs would still get the job done. Microsoft, right? And when we were talking about it, all right, in the SPY ETF, Microsoft was a heavyweight, all right, but it was just below Apple's weight in the SPY in the S&P 500. It was at 7.28%, and Apple was 7.35. And so at the time, it was basically, right, like it says here, watching a thrilling horse race where Microsoft is inching closer to the finish line. And we're talking about how momentum can shift in the blink of an eye. And, momentum definitely shifted, right? There started coming out with some really bearish headlines about Apple. And Apple, dropped significantly, right? It had a pretty big drop there for a minute. It started to recover, but Microsoft is still the top dog right now. And then we have the AI revolution. Apple is going to come out and make some type of announcement related to AI, but for right now, they haven't, right? And, that was Microsoft's ace because their partnership with OpenAI and the involvement with ChatGPT has been setting them up as a front runner in the AI race. We're talking about a technology that's capturing the imagination of investors and consumers alike. It's not just playing in the AI sandbox, they're really just building it, right? They're building it with a staggering $50 billion annual spend planned for 2024 and beyond. They're undertaking what could be the largest infrastructure build out humanity has ever seen. Now, that's a very important line right there. And I made sure to include it, right? We're talking about a $50 billion annual spend planned for 2024 and beyond. This is literally the largest infrastructure build out humanity has ever seen. Just think about that for a second. It may seem just like words, but when you actually just take a moment, pause, and to think about, they're literally making the largest infrastructure build out humanity's ever seen, and it's in AI. That's going to be revolutionary, right? Now, it's not just about beating records, it's about accelerating the path to AGI. Now, AGI is really the next step, right? And that's going to be artificial general intelligence, right? Right now, ChatGPT is, an LLM, that's a large language model, and it's very revolutionary, but AGI is really going to be the next big thing when it comes to AI. And we were talking about the chart, and we were talking about its cup and handle, right? It had a very, very clean cup and handle here, and this is on a monthly chart, so this is a monthly time frame. And it looked very, very good, like it was going to be heading up to the 400s. We had a price target here of 433.83. Right. And, so I just kind of wanted to revisit Microsoft and talk about it. We'll take a look at the chart here in a second. But the bottom line was basically that Apple has its charm in its place, but Microsoft is playing a completely different game. They're not just a tech company, they're a foundational pillar of our digital and soon our AI driven future. As investors and tech aficionados, it's a story worth watching. Will Microsoft overtake Apple in the stock market? It has, right? It eventually end up doing that in just a couple of months. But the race is on and it's more exciting than ever. So, just kind of wanted to revisit this article because, there's lots of really great stuff in here in the Investment Intelligence newsletter. Remember, you can always go back and, just visit the website to read some of the different articles and things like that. And if you want to get them sent to your inbox, all you have to do is sign up right here and hit subscribe. Now let's take a look at the chart for Microsoft. All right, they've got earnings coming up here very soon. So we'll break that down. And so this is a daily time frame. That first chart that we looked at, you can see the target for the monthly chart, right? Which is going to take longer to play out than a daily chart would, was up here at 434 in the 430s. But when we zoom into the daily time frame, shorter term wise, these were our targets that we had for Microsoft, and it played out very, very well. Okay, we were looking for a 5-wave structure taking us up to around 420. We've got earnings next week, so we're going to see if we get a pre-earnings rally, or maybe if they beat, it comes up and hits those targets. It may not, right? It can always crash on earnings. That's definitely a possibility. But we had a nice 1-2 setup right here, and we got our strongest wave of all, wave 3. And then we had a nice triangle pattern for wave 4. And, just think of things from a simple, technical analysis perspective, right? You have resistance, all right? Then we break through the resistance right here, and we come back and we retest that area as support. So very textbook from technical analysis standpoint, where old resistance becomes new support, and we're able to bounce and continue heading up higher. And we had a very nice, very textbook triangle pattern here forming for wave 4. And, we've got some people in the Discord talking about, hey, I'm in Microsoft. Should I take profit here? What do you think I should do? And, I was saying, hey, well, it really just kind of depends on your time frame. But, it still hasn't hit its final target yet. So, you can hedge, you can trim some a little bit up here. You do have to keep in mind earnings. And one thing that I'll mention is that just as we did, if we zoom back out a little bit over here, and just as we had prior resistance become support, right? So old resistance right here ended up becoming support. We had old resistance here at our initial first target of 383, right? And what did we do? We tested it a little bit right here, bounced up. If we were to reverse back around, 383.85 is that big key level. Okay, so look for potential support at 383.85. If we pull back, that's still higher low territory, right? We have a low, we have a high. All right. And if we were to pull back to 383.85, above there is definitely higher low. It sets up a nice potential higher low to continue going higher and potentially hit that 420 price target to the upside. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Just a quick one. I wanted to talk about Microsoft. It's been a really great stock, and it's now the most important stock in the stock market. For now, we'll see if that lasts and how long that continues. But it's been really fun to trade. It's been giving really good opportunities, and I'm excited for the future to see what else is in store for Microsoft. Don't forget to sign up for that newsletter. You can also get into the Discord, the Investment Intelligence Discord. That's where you get all the different analysis, all the different trade ideas. You got this chart when it was posted back in December, preparing for the breakout. You would have been prepared for this move to the upside and potentially caught some of that momentum. It's only $1 to get in right now, but that's using promo code at Jan24. Just kind of celebrating the new year, letting people get into the Discord for $1 after the end of January. Once February starts, that promo code is no longer going to work. So you want to get in now, and you can get in now for just $1 for your first month. Test it out, see. It's basically free. The newsletter is completely free. Both of them I try to provide really good value in there, and I think you'll enjoy it.